Tell me when. Hi, my name is Kimberly Darby, and I'm going to be talking about the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton today. The date is February 10th, 2019. I'm going to start off here with the nasal. It is the upper bone of the nose. The symphoid is the bone by the inner eye right in there. The lacrimal is the inner eye right here. And then the ethmoid is the inside part also of the eye right in here. And then the zygomat is the cheekbone right over here. And the maxilla bone is above the teeth, like right in this area. And the mandible is like the jaw right in here. And the frontal is the forehead. The frontal is the forehead. And the vomer is the bull ring bone. Oh, the little part that goes like right here on your nose. And then I'm going to start off with the posterior skull from behind. So I'll turn him around a little bit. And we're going to go with the mandible jawbone again here. And the occipital is the lower back of the skull right in here. And then we have the parietal. Parietal is the left upper side of the back of the skull there, right in here. And then the temporal is the straight back from the eye back in that area. And then like your little temples right here to the back. And then I'm going to start with the side view of the lateral part of the skull, which is the inside, oh I'm sorry, not the inside, but the ethmoid of the inside of the eye there. And then the frontal back skull, the frontal, the front part of the skull there. And then the lacrimal is the inside part of the eye again. And the mandible is the bottom part of the jaw, like right in here, this area. And then I have the maxilla, which is the above the teeth bone, which is like right in that area. And then I have the nasal, which is right there, right in here. And then I have the zygomat again, and that is the cheekbones right here. And then the occipital is the lower part of the skull right here. And then I have the parietal, big part of the skull, which is the big part all right in here. And the temple behind me is like right in here. Then I'm going to start with the inferior skull, the view of the inside of the skull. I'll grab him, put him down here, and just do the inside of the eyes are right in here. And the frontal is like the forehead right here. And then we have the occipital, which is the big part of the skull. And then we have the partial, which is the small part of the skull inside here, right in here. And then we have the symphoid is inside the eyes, which is like right there inside. And then we have the parietal, the small part of the skull inside, which would be right in this area. And then we have the inside of the eye, which is the symphoid, inside of the eyes here. And then we have the temporal, which is the bone for the eye right inside there. And that's it for that part. Then I'm going to start with the vertebrae, which is the back here. I don't know if he wants to stay up. Then I'm going to start with the atlas, which is the C1 and C2 right here. And then the axis, which is the C2. And then the cervical vertebrae, which is the top part of the spine here. And then the coccyx, which is the bottom of the spine, which is this part right here, kind of like your tailbone. And then the lumbar part, which is the lower part of your back right in here. And then the upper spine is the thoracic, which is the middle part, is the thoracic part right here. And then the true ribs, which are 1 through 7. So you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the true ribs right here. And then the floating, or the floating ribs are 8 through 12, which comes down to in here. And then the fake ribs, I'm sorry, are the 8 through 12. And the floating ribs are 11 through 12, which is right in this area. Then I'm going to start off with the, turn it back around so I can do the sternum area, which is the, this part, the sternum area here. And then the manubrium is the sternum, which is the upper little part right in this area here. And then the clavicle bone, which is the collarbones here. And then the humerus, which is the arm right here. And the radius is the lower part of the arm, and which is the smaller bone. The radius, the radius is the, or the ulna is the lower part of the big bone. And then the scapula wing is the little wing part back here on the back of your back there. And then the capitate is the middle of the bone. I'm going with the hand and the wrist now. Is the middle bone of the hand, which is right in here. And the hamate next to the, is kind of next to your pinky side right here. And then the lunate is the middle bottom. So the middle bottom right in here. And then we have the metacarpal, which is the middle in the fingers area, right in here. And then the phalange is the fingers. The pisiform, Hey, so we're still on the hand, the pisiform, the bone in the hand with the side next to the pinky, and the scapoid, which is the middle part of the bone, next to the lunate, and the sesamoid is the knuckle bones, and then you have the trapezium bone, which is the start of the thumb here, and then you have the I gotta say that right, tricretrium, which is next to the pisiform. And then I have the trapezoid, which is the bone under the pointer finger here. And then I'm going to start with the pelvic griddle and the limbs. So the ilium is the big part of the hip here, which is this part right in here. And then we have the pubic bone, which goes right in this area right here. And here we have the femur. And then we have the ischium, which is the round part of the bone under the pelvic bone. And then the patella, which is the bone right here on the knee. And the tibia, which is the bigger bone on the bottom part of the leg here, which is just right here, and the fibia is the smaller part of the bone right here. Excuse me. And now I'm going to go with the ankle and the foot, and that is the calcaneus bone above the foot in the ankle area right in here, and the cuboid is the bone in the foot, and the intermediate cuneiform, sorry, bone under the second toe, which is right in this area, and the lateral cuneiform is the bone below the third. The lateral cuneiform is the bone below the third toe, right in this area right here. The medial cuneiform is the bone below the big toe, right in this area here. The metatarsal is between the the tips and the big part of your foot bone there. And the navicular is the third bone from your big toe, kind of down in this area up here, or up here, I'm sorry. And the phalange is the upper part of your toes here, and the talus is the big part of your foot bone right up in this area. And that concludes my lab example video today. Thank you and have a blessed day.